Hello and welcome to Tax Matters. My name is Chiamaka Ohaochi. Today on Tax Matters, we are sticking with the CITN. And it's a big one. The CITN has a new president, the 14th in line and the third woman ever to hold a exalted position. We are talking about Dame Olajumoke Simplis, thoroughbred tax administrator and tax consultant rolled into one. The story of that investiture is the major item on the menu today. It was an evening of glitz and glamour with the 99-year-old mother of Dame Simplis in attendance.
Sweet mother, I no go forget you. But you suffer when you suffer for me. Sweet mother, sweet mother, oh. All right.
To underscore the importance of the event, the investiture ceremony kicked off on a business note with a keynote address delivered by no other person than the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Today is a day of great joy, not only because my sister has assumed the office of President of Council, but worldwide, the issue of taxation has come to the forefront. If we remember the situation in Nigeria from 1999 or the year 2000, up until that date, hardly anyone spoke about taxation. Hardly anyone thought of the importance of taxation. But now the world all over knows the importance of taxation, including Nigeria. Today is a day when we can look at this profession as a profession of importance. And also, in the era of tax, we say there's no gender. We only have taxmen. So I'd like to welcome our president and let her know that we'll fully support her. And when people talk about CITN, a lot of tax practitioners until this year honestly did not know the importance of CITN. But I'll tell you a little history. When we started the reforms in Lagos State in the year 2006, one of our major partners was CITN. And they worked with us until we made Lagos financially independent of the federal allocation. At the federal level, CITN is also working with us. And today we can proudly say that CITN is a recognized body for taxation in Nigeria. I'd like to thank all those in the past who fought this battle, including what we used to fondly call the wartime president, who is seated to my left. Those in the battle know who the wartime president was, and he did it very well.
Mr. Fowler gave this charge.
The work before us is hard. We have looked at the level of compliance within Nigeria. We have looked at the needs of revenue required to fund the federal, state, and local governments. And that tells me that the work before us is very hard. But the good side of that is that a lot of my colleagues here, those on the private sector, will be very busy. As non-compliant tax payers come to you, let us remember that we're members of CITN, and we have to advise them properly and charge them appropriately.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS calls on all corporate organizations operating in Nigeria to register for the purpose of payment of taxes and obtain a tax identification number TIN. All registered companies must obtain a tax identification number immediately from the nearest FIRS office. You can also collect and return tax registration forms from the Federal Inland Revenue Service Engagement and Enlightenment Tax Teams, FEET, on compliance checks exercise in your area. A company which is yet to commence business after at least 6 months of incorporation must pay a pre-operational levy of 20,000 naira in the first year and 25,000 naira for subsequent years to obtain its tax clearance certificate TCC. Note that filing and payment of VAT and withholding tax returns must be done on or before the 21st day of every month. Register for VAT. File all tax returns as and at when due. Be a responsible corporate citizen of Nigeria. It pays to pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Still on the trajectory of meaning business, the formal investiture immediately got underway.
It is my pleasure to administer the oath to the 14th President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. I, Olajumoke Gladys Moyosore Oluwa Anyike Simples, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
To the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
To the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
So help me God.
Amen.
Having sworn to the oath of office, Dame Olajumoke Simples, the 14th President of the CITN, was decorated with the insignia of office by her predecessor, Chief Cyril Ede. In her acceptance speech, the 14th President of the CITN, Dame Olajumoke Simples, looked back on her days at the FRS with joy.
When next I come to this Mother Earth, I will ask God to take me back to FRS. From day one, it has been pleasurable as we all worked as a family. Thank you for your support all the way. I am very grateful.
She also had kind words for the incumbent Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how long this my thank you is, it will not suffice if I do not specifically mention the big masquerade of our time, Mr. Babatunde Fowler. We are very grateful for your constant support in sponsoring our great institution. We are grateful for your guidance and advice when we call on you. We are grateful for most of the policies you are implementing because they are actually making our job a lot easier. Now, a lot of people discuss taxation everywhere. People are complying more. People are asking questions. People are aware of their rights when they pay tax. Your amnesty programs have helped people understand the importance of taxation in the development of a nation. We shall continue as an institute to support you and also bring to your knowledge, where necessary, new ideas where we can further enhance taxation in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
And then the formal acceptance.
Finally, I pledge, I, Gladys Olajumoke Moyosore Oluwa Anyike Simples, pledge and give unflinching assurance on behalf of Council that we shall do our best to diligently serve you and take the Institute to greater heights than we met it. So help us God.
Dame simply, succinctly summed up her understanding of her role in the saddle as president of the CITN in the next 2 years.
What is the expected end for the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria? It's in his vision. And what is the vision? To be one of the most referred professional associations in Africa and beyond. And what is this mission? The mission is to be an institute which will be a citadel of taxation in Africa and contribute to advancements of the science and practice of taxation in all its ramifications worldwide, creating a strong manpower base for a professionally driven taxation system in Nigeria. I, Olajumoke Simplis, promise on my honor to take this mandate and trust given to me very seriously. The enormity of this responsibility is not lost on me, but I know with your cooperation and support, things can only get better. I feel indeed honored to serve in the capacity of the 14th President and Chairman of Council of this great institute. You have my sincere assurance that I will not take this for granted and will continue to demonstrate my commitment and dedication to what the institute stands for and for which we have all worked over the years.
Dame Olajumoke Simplis was also decorated with the insignia of office as President of the West African Union of Tax Institutes, WAUTI.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in my acceptance speech as the 14th President of CITN, I mentioned the fact that we're spreading our wings to other regions of the world. And it is today. I will read a short one in French and a long one in English. Mesdames et Messieurs, je voudrais remercier tous les associations membres de l'Union des ordres fiscaux. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to accept to complete the 2-year tenure of Nigeria as President of the West African Union of Tax Institutes, as provided for in the WAUTI Constitution. WAUTI presidency is held by sitting presidents of full member bodies. Therefore, my assumption of office as President of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria means that I also assume the WAUTI presidency, which was the result of the 5th annual general meeting of the Union held in Abuja, Nigeria on the 26th of April 2019. In accepting this enormous responsibility, I bear in mind the aims and objectives of the Union, which, though still nascent, has continued to spread its tentacles across the West African region. I also want to appreciate Chief Cyril Ikemefuna Ede, who has piloted the affairs of the Institute for the past 2 months.
The Executive Governor of Lagos State was ably represented at the ceremony by the Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Ministry of Finance.
As a government, we will continue to partner with the Institute for the development and progress of our dear state, Lagos State, and the nation, and this is our great nation, Nigeria. On this note, I congratulate Dame Olajumoke Moyosoroluwa Anyike Simplis, FCTI, an illustrious daughter of Isaleko, Lagos State, a splendid tax practitioner, on her investiture as the 14th President of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria and the 2nd female President of the West African Union of Institute of Taxation, and also the executive members of the Institute. I wish you all a successful and prosperous tenure, good things to happen in your time, and the Lagos to really move forward with your support.
There were also goodwill messages from eminent men and women in attendance, even as presentations were made. Tax Matters spoke to the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, on the sidelines of the investiture.
Sir, a word for the new president.
Well, a lot of people have said a lot of things. I've known the new president for a number of years. She's very dedicated, very capable, and with our support, and with her drive, I think we'll work together and achieve all her objectives, both personally and also for CITN.
On expectations from the CITN.
Certainly, the world all over, including Nigeria, is fully aware that this is the only country we have, and to build it and to change it, we have to pay our taxes to provide the much required revenue to all levels of government, federal, state, and local government. The role of CITN is to regulate taxation within Nigeria, and they're quite aware of the expectations of both governments and also the people within Nigeria. So I see this as starting another stage of CITN with a lot of challenges ahead, but I'm sure that collectively we'll overcome all those challenges.
Chief Cyril Ede is the immediate past president of the CITN and Dame Olajumoke Simplici's predecessor. Earlier at the 40th induction of new members into the CITN held on May 23, 2019, Tax Matters asked Chief Cyril Ede to speak on his legacy.
Well, I've been in CITN. I've been seeing what is being, we have been planning and executing programs. In the CITN, each president comes and works on what has been doing, what others have been doing, and then what was left by other persons. But in my own case now, I can specifically say I'm living a happy CITN, progressive CITN, and we have been breaking grounds. I've taken CITN to some heights. We have been talking to government and being able to even to the presidency. We went to the presidency. So what I'm leaving behind is peaceful CITN and progressive CITN that will take up positions in future to benefit Nigeria and the taxpayers. We have just won a case in the court, and that case, I think, is the final judgment on that case, unless people just want to waste their money. So it is a solidifying CITN. I made sure that at least when I leave, CITN will remain strong and remain focused and be able to carry out programs that will benefit members of CITN and the tax system, tax profession, you know. So we popularize taxes. We are in the grassroots. We are going to secondary schools. We are we have tax clubs in the universities, which we have established. And I think we should be able to say that we have instituted some good distance into the CITN.
And of course, the brand new president of the CITN.
We are going to follow strictly what our vision and mission says, and that is taking ownership of taxation in this country, then developing it so that we develop capacity for all tax practitioners. We also want to educate taxpayers. So we're going to educate taxpayers, we're going to partner government, we're going to partner international bodies, and as I'm talking, we have just received an invitation to go to Amsterdam for a partnership talk. As I'm talking, we have just received a letter to go to UK for a partnership talk. So it's just going to be great. It's going to be great. going forward.
Dame Olajumoke Simplis was once again full of praises for the FRS under the leadership of Mr. Babatunde Fowler.
Let me tell you, Mr. Fowler has taken the right steps. He has taken the right steps. You will see that everybody is talking taxation now, everybody. Whether they are saying, he wants to kill us, so he doesn't want to kill us, so this and this. The point still remains that he has brought taxation to our senses, to our consciousness. So now, the issue is next steps. You now know what the law says about taxation. You have been given amnesty. You have been educated. You have no cause not to pay your tax. And it is also the duty of the Institute of Taxation to say that, okay, when you collect these taxes, government, please use it so that people see what you, because when you see what is like a parent, you send your children to school and they are doing well. If they ask you for anything, you do it. So that is it. Let government also do what the citizens expect of them. I'm happy that this particular issue is being addressed by most states, especially Lagos and Rivers State. So that is my advice. Nigerians, pay your tax as and when due. It is when you pay your tax that you can actually now ask government what they use it for. If the money is not there, the government cannot do anything. It is what the government has that it can use. If you don't put it there, we need to pool resources, pool the revenue. If you don't pool the revenue, then we can't achieve.
In 2018, a total of 5.320 trillion naira was collected as taxes by the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS). This is the highest ever collected as federal taxes in Nigeria. Taxes have become an important source of revenue, enabling the government to provide greater infrastructural developments in our country. Tax revenues enable government to provide more roads, more railways, more bridges, more housing, more schools, more students in schools, more hospitals, more security, and generate more power. Because Nigeria deserves more. Only your taxes can make all our dreams come true. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. It pays to pay your tax.
As the saying goes, there is nothing more to add. End of discussion. From us at Tax Matters, big congratulations to Dame Olajumoke Simplis, a true friend of this program. May your tenure be fruitful, and to you, our viewers, have a fruitful week ahead.
Nítorí àtìlẹ́yìn kojú máa ti ní òyìnbó bàbá. Àtìlẹ́yìn kojú máa ti ní òyìnbó.
Thank you for watching.